Coral Springs 911, which emergency?
Hello. No emergency. I just want to know if it's a false alarm at Douglas High School.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
We're on the way out
what's
there,
going
thank
on?
you. We've got reports of a school shooting. We're on the way.
More than 6 months after the massacre, the public still doesn't know all the facts about what happened that day. The commission chair, Sheriff Bob Gualtieri of Pinellas County, says rumors and falsehoods have flooded into that vacuum.
This is a hurting community, and there's no doubt about it. But that causes more harm and more hurt when people are forming opinions based on misinformation and false information.
For example, Sheriff Gualtieri says the rumor has spread that BSO had 43 interactions over the years with the shooter, yet failed to prevent the tragedy. Gualtieri says the actual number of meaningful interactions was 2, and he says it's arguable that BSO could have or should have handled them any differently than they did.
Have you ever been in trouble before where you've been involved with police officers?
Yes.
What was that all about?
Shooting animals.
Shooting animals?
Yes.
What kind of animals?
Chicken.
And what city was that in?
Parkland.
You get arrested for it, or they take you home? What happened?
They came to the door.
Okay. Well, how long a time ago?
6 years ago.
Okay, so when you were like 13, when you were a juvenile? What'd you shoot the chicken with?
Pelican.
A pelican? What else? What other contacts you had with the police?
Riding bike.
Riding bikes?
Yes.
Motorbikes or regular bikes?
Regular bikes.
Okay, you never got arrested, no? Did you ever get any of those civil citations or tickets or anything like that? All right, so you've never really been in any kind of trouble, right? Okay. Do you remember ever posting something and it said, I'm going to be a professional school shooter?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Was that you who posted that?
No.
I'm not saying it's you. I'm just asking you if it is you. Do you remember ever posting anything on the internet like that? It may not be you.
No.
Another student, a 10th grader who was not identified, was committed for psychological evaluation. According to the Broward Sheriff's Office, the student was removed from class for posting pictures on Snapchat depicting a handgun in his waistband and numerous bullets. BSO says the student stated that the picture was of a BB gun and that the bullets were his father's. The student goes by a gamer tag name he created called Nick Cruz. He uses this gamer tag in the game Fortnite.
With all these contacts you've had with the police, which are very, very minor, have you ever had your rights read to you before?
No.
No. Have any other policeman read you what I just read you? Okay.
But, you know, why would somebody confess to, let's say, a murder that they didn't commit? It just seems preposterous, right? Well, let's go into the interrogation room and see how this might unfold. So once you are in the interrogation room, you actually are presumed guilty. And it's the job of the interrogator to elicit a confession from you. There are methods for that because the presumption is that whoever is in that interrogation room is not going to be forthcoming with a confession. So there are methods, and they include things like get in the person's face and don't let them off the hook. You know, don't entertain their denials. Urge them to think about the consequences of continuing to not cooperate. And remember, this is you. You found yourself in this interrogation room. You don't know how it happened. You're facing this barrage of questions and accusations. Meanwhile, this room is actually quite stressful simply to be in. You're isolated. You may be held for hours on end, and in fact, in false confession cases, that turns out to be more than 16 hours on average on end. You may have to go to the bathroom, you may be hungry. And then let's add one more layer on top of that. The police are actually allowed to bluff about the evidence that they have against you.
Just remember one thing as we go into this, there's certain things I know, and I don't want you to get, you know, to the point where you think I'm being hard on you, but schools in particular got cameras everywhere. So I can see what happened.
Came in on campus with the backpack.
Nicholas Cruz, is that confirmed?
I'm getting that from the baseball coach, and they were told it was Nicholas Cruz.
And it was Andrew Medina who deputies brought to the scene to identify Nicholas Cruz as the shooter.
Well, now Medina told a bit of a different story to the Sun-Sentinel, saying that he did not specifically recognize Cruz when Cruz came on campus, and that there was never a meeting where Cruz was mentioned as a potential shooter.
Stand by for further. He dropped the bag near the stairwell. Stand by for further. He went from the third floor to the second floor. Third to the second floor. He may have a gas mask on now. Stand by for further. They're monitoring him on camera. Is now back down on the second floor. He was on the third, back on the second floor now. On the 1200 building. They had him exiting the building, running south.
Any other handguns?
No handgun.
Headquarters to command.
Go ahead.
Your suspect's going to have a burgundy shirt, black pants, running southwest from the location. He still has a single zero gun.
Okay, I understand. Can you please make that same announcement on this channel with an alert tone and make sure you repeat it, please?
Copy that. All units be aware, suspect is still at large. Suspect is still at large. Burgundy shirt, black pants, still having a single zero gun, running southwest from that last location of the school. We still do not have further.
Copy that. Chief 743 to command. Go ahead. Chief, they did advise that the suspect did mix in with the other students that were running away. So just be aware of that when you're dealing with the other students.
We were all waiting at the door, and he comes over and he unlocks the door, and we all get in. And I see this figure come up the stairs with this pistol, and I guess that was him. We were all waiting at the door, and he comes over and he unlocks the door, and we all get in. And I see this figure come up the stairs with this pistol, and I guess that was him.
Did it sound like automatic weapons fire, like a machine gun?
It sounded more like a pistol or like a shotgun.
$220, somewhere in that area, 220. I observed an Uber park, and I observed the suspect come out of the Uber. I saw the sign in the front, I saw the Uber. He got out of the car. There was, I'm peeping him from my golf cart, to the left.
Black,
there was no communication with the driver or anything. He just got out.
Black, white?
White one. He pulled out, he came, and he's walking, head down, got a black bag in his hand here, and like a backpack. Burgundy shirt. So he's coming on the school campus. The Holmberg.
Okay, so he's just out the Holmberg.
Yeah, so he's just out the Holmberg, walking on the campus through the bike rack gate. So he starts coming, he's beelining. He's got his head down, he's on a mission. He's on a mission.
He's walking with a purpose.
He's walking with a purpose. So I peep it. So I get on the golf court, and I whoop, and I come around this way back, to the loop where the school is, because I can get in through this gate that's over here. So I'm coming this way, and he's right here. By the time I get over here, I see him, he's picking up more speed. I gotta go, so when I see him pick up more speed, I quickly call my security guard guy who's in the 1200 building, and I said, Coach Taylor, got a suspicious subject on campus, got a black bag in his hands, keep your eyes open because I think he's going into your building, so, careful, keep your eyes open, you know what I mean? And he's like, what side? So I said, he's coming in through the east side.
The shooter enters the stairwell immediately to the right. He's carrying a rifle case at that point. The witness enters the stairwell. Put your pause here. As the suspect is taking the weapon out and preparing it, he makes a statement to the witness, who immediately flees and seeks help.
My friends that made it out, one of them went into a bathroom in the same, I believe, in the same hallway as the shooter. Well, hold on. One of them went into the same bathroom, I believe, as the hallway shooter.
He does pause momentarily, appears to be taking things out of a backpack that he does not take with him before continuing.
Went through the door. It went through the door. It went through the door.
The bullet went through the door?
Yes, I was a student down. I was a student down.
You have a student down in your classroom?
Yes.
At this point, if we could pause here, the suspect goes to classroom 1216 and fires from outside of the classroom into the classroom. He strikes 4 students inside this room, one of which is instantly fatal.
Campus security video showing confessed gunman Nicholas Cruz opened fire just 15 seconds after he walked into the freshman building.
911, what is your emergency?
Hi, my daughter just texted me from school. She's at Stoneman Douglas, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, and she says there's an active shooter.
What she?
There's glass.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah. Is she? What room is she in?
1213, she said. 1213. Can she still hear shots? Or she didn't answer. She says she's behind the desk right now, but the shots were close.
Your daughter is in room 1213?
1213, babe?
Yeah.
1213,
okay.
yes.
And does she hear any more shots?
Did she answer that question yet? Did she hear any more shots? Can she hear any more shots?
No, not anybody. We are not there, but they shot a glass. And
the first text she sent me was at 2:22.
2:22 was the first time. Okay.
First time she texted me to tell me there was a shooter.
Okay, so that's when she heard it.
She heard it, and the glass was shattered in the
okay.
floor. In your room, there were 3 shots in her room.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh. There's 3 shots.
Suspect at that point goes to the outside of classroom 1213 and again fires into the classroom. Suspect at that point goes to the outside of classroom 1213 and again fires into the classroom from the outside. We have 1 victim who was struck fatally and several others who are injured.
Bravo 3, 17 Bravo 4.
We have possible, could be firecrackers. I think we got shots fired. Possible shots fired. 1200 building.
Attention all units in District 15. Possible shots fired at 5901 Pine Island Road at Stoneman Douglas High School. Possible shots fired at Stoneman Douglas High School.
And we're doing route. 1584 route. Make sure we get some units over here. I need to shut down Stoneman Douglas. The intersection.
10-4.
49 in route. Be Bravo on my call.
10-4.
Station 109 and Assistant 43 copy the shooting call. It's at 5901 Pine Island Road. 5901 Pine Island Road.
Shots fired. I'm over on the south side, over by the 700 building.
I just had one of the fire admin go by and make reference to an active shooter at Douglas. Anything to that?
10-4 Kilo 23, there is an active shooter working at Douglas. Multiple gunshots are being fired. We can hear them in the background. Our 911 lines are blowing up. We have multiple units on the phone. Some are giving EMD. It is confirmed.
Julia 3997 Douglas.
10-4, I'm going to put you on the 68 that we have open at 5901 Pine Island.
I'm just going over to Sawgrass at Douglas, so I have a bunch of kids outside to the west side of the school.
10-4.
Bravo 46, 10-8, 250.
10-4, Bravo 46.
44,
10-4, Bravo 44.
23 around Douglas.
10-4. Delta 28.
Romeo 3051. 51, John.
10-4, do you want me to...
That's 30. Go ahead and send units up there.
10-4, do you want me to...
3751.
And then returns back to the door of room 1216 where he fires additional rounds into that classroom. We have 2 more victims who were struck fatally and another victim who was injured.
Schachter and 2 more students, 14-year-old Alina Petty and 14-year-old Alyssa Al-Hadef, were killed in her classroom.
Thank you for what's the address?
5901 Pine
43, we're talking about the 1200 building. It's going to be the building off of Holmberg Road. Any descriptions? I'm coming up from Westlake Middle.
On the first floor.
Can you hear where the shots are coming from?
It was in the hallway. They were shooting into my classroom.
They're shooting into your classroom?
They were.
Okay. Do you hear the shots now?
Well, we're in class 1214.
What is it?
1214.
1214?
Yes.
Is anyone shot?
I don't think so. There might be though. There might be.
Okay, all right, listen. Stay on here with me. We have a lot of people en route. Do you actively hear gunshots right now still?
Hold on, huh?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You still hear gunshots? Okay.
It sounds like it's coming from upstairs.
To fire in the classroom 1214, again from the outside in. If we could pause there. We have 2 victims that are struck fatally in this room and 4 additional victims who are injured.
This camera shows School Resource Officer Deputy Scott Peterson, along with 2 other workers arriving on a golf cart outside of the 1200 building that afternoon.
I'm over on the south side, over by the 700 building. Tango 2, I'm shutting down eastbound Holmberg at the divide between this Blaze and the high school. 17 Bravo 1, I'll get the west side of Stoneman on Holmberg.
That far west side of Holmberg.
7 Julia 4 responding. Hey, Julia 1. Tango 2, I hear shots fired by the football field. Shots fired by the football field.
Shots fired by the football field. Heard.
1216, please. Please, he's upstairs now. He's upstairs.
Did you hear him? Did you see him?
I beg your pardon?
You said that you're calling it a he. Did you see him?
No. 1216, please.
Room 1216, I have someone shot. CPR started.
3 people shot. 3 people shot.
3 people shot.
I heard footsteps above us on the 2nd floor.
Shooting, and you could see a bunch of kids just going down that way, but stopping, but because the other shooter was coming.
My sister was running, she was in the bathroom at the time, and she ran from him and got luckily into a room that she found open.
Tell me where you were and just sort of what you experienced when this was all going on.
I was on the 2nd floor and I was really, really scared because they were knocking on the door and jiggling door handles here again because the shooter came to the door, and that's when I got really nervous.
Now, you and I were talking off camera before we got here. You think you knew him. Obviously, a lot of information is still coming out. It's still really early on, but we have confirmed the name of the shooter. Without saying any information, just what did you know about him generally?
Nothing really. A friend introduced us. I only said hi to him a couple times in the hallway.
Did he seem different? Did he seem unusual? Was there something that sort of stuck out to you?
No, not to me.
So to you, it was just another normal guy in school. So many people that go here, nothing really caught you off guard about him.
No.
I have multiple students down in mine too. Ninth grade building. I have multiple students down in mine too. Ninth grade building.
I'm over on the south side, over by the 700 building. It's going to be the 300 building. It's going to be right off of Holmberg Road by the senior lot. I hear shots fired.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
All units on the shots fired, stay on Main.
17 Yankee 4, we definitely have shots being fired. Field is target, right by the football field. Hey, Julie 3, make sure I have a unit over in the front of the school. Make sure nobody comes inside the school.
I need the units at the front, advise.
Bravo 3, we need somebody to shut down Holmberg at Pine Island.
Units to shut down Holmberg, advise.
Holmberg shut down. We're going to build a 13 in the 900 building. We have shots fired. I'm trying to get the fence open.
Building 13 and 900 building.
Alex, do not approach the 12 or 1300 buildings. Stay at least 500 feet away at this point.
Stay away from 12 and 1300 buildings.
Yes, this is Coral Springs with the transfer. This person's advising at the shooter at Douglas and Parkland. He's in a safe spot. He's advising the shooters in the north parking lot with the student lot.
Okay.
Sir, go ahead for BSO.
Okay. Hello, excuse me. Hello? Hello? Coral Springs, are you still online?
I'm still on the line.
Okay.
He came in on an admin line.
Okay.
911 were rolled over.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, where's the location you say the shooter is located at?
He said the student parking lot on the north side of the school.
Okay.
All right, can you hear or see anything? Hey, you're on mine. Hello? Okay, just be quiet. He's around the area, okay? He's close by to your room. Everyone quiet, no movement. 1216 in that same hallway. He's in the hallway right now. Okay. He flew to the ground. Yeah, so just stay with me on the line. Just keep your kids quiet. I don't want to disconnect with you just because he's in your hallway, okay? I'm still with you. I'm going to let you know when the shooter's down, okay?
And then 911 said, he's coming back. Because he already shot my room twice. Wasn't that enough? But no, he's coming back.
Station 109 and Assistant 43 copy a shooting call. It's at 5901 Pine Island Road. 5901 Pine Island Road. It's at Stoneman Douglas, 72 Sierra Sector, active shooter. Unknown how many people injured at this time. One caller is advising lots of blood.
Now the suspect proceeds to the second floor.
Station 1 right now.
There are no victims in this hallway.
Assistant 43, you're causing active shooter.
If we could pause here. As the suspect continues in a eastern direction down this hallway, he does fire into two classrooms on the second floor. However, no victims are struck by gunfire. He fires several rounds into a north side classroom 1231.
System 43,
These rounds actually travel through the classroom and out the exterior windows. He's then going to move on to room 1234 and fires several more rounds that also travel through
5901 Pine Island Road, Stoneman Douglas.
And you can continue.
42. 95.
5901 Pine Island Road at Stoneman Douglas. Active shooter. We're still getting further.
Engine 42 now. Assistant 43 on the route. Make sure Chief 43 heard
the suspect then continues to the east side stairwell.
The rescue 71. We're going to break some training to take that call. You can take 95 off.
Rescue 71, I'll put you on the call. 95, I can show you available.
Hey, you're on mine.
Hello?
Okay, just be quiet. He's around the area, okay?
Rescue 71, are you en route?
He's close by to your room. Everyone quiet, no movement.
Same hallway.
Okay. Yeah, so just stay with me on the line. Just keep your quiet. I don't want to disconnect with you just because he's in your hallway, okay?
There is a
I'm still with you. I'm going to let you know when the shooter's down, okay?
And then 911 said he's coming back. Because he already shot my room twice. Wasn't that enough? But no, he's coming back.
He's aware.
We'll continue.
10-4, thank you.
And pause here.
42 en route.
As you can see in 1255, we do have another witness who was struck.
Just want to make sure you're aware of the shooting call at Stoneman Douglas, the active shooter.
Does survive their injuries.
Negative, show me
Further down
around.
the hallway, you can see
you on the call is at 5901 Pine Island Road.
Yellow
Unknown
dots.
how many
These
injured
are
at
all
this time.
victims who were initially injured by the gunfire.
We're still getting multiple calls, just so all units are aware.
Battalion, I'm in service, I'll be around.
10-4.
And pause here.
Chief 343,
At this
also
point,
around.
the suspect turns his back to the rest of the hallway. We believe at that point to reload his weapon.
10-4.
When he does so, several of
confirming I have two full
students
stations going, correct?
and faculty that are trapped in the
10-4
hallway
and an extra
are
engine.
going to try to run for the stairwell on the west end.
Perfect, thank you.
10-4.
Chief 643, I'll cover the street.
10-4.
Chief 443, I see RPD's going as well. Let me know what channel they're going to be working with VSO.
10-4. And units responding, we do have so far at least one shot in the head.
Copy.
Go ahead.
Stoneman Douglas, stage in the area. Stage in the area.
10-4, unit stage in the area. Assistant 43, copy.
The fire alarm goes off. I'm still doing what I'm doing out on the field, and I see kids starting to walk out from into the senior parking lot, which is directly north of the 12 building. They're just walking out normally. I hear what I now know to be 5 or 6 gunshots. At first, I honestly thought they were fireworks. I thought the kids were screwing around. I thought maybe someone lit off some fireworks in the school, set off the fire alarm. That's what I was thinking. The kids were really not reacting in the parking lot. They were just walking. Looked like they were messing around type of stuff, typical high school thing when kids get out for a fire alarm. And then all of a sudden, the situation changed, obviously. Kids started to run, kids started to scream. That time I heard a round of probably about another 5 or 6 shots. Obviously, I dropped the hose that I was using to water the infield and ran towards the parking lot, which is where the kids were. Immediately when I ran into the parking lot, I encountered a young student. I have permission from his mother to give his name. His name is Kyle. I'm not going to give you his last name. But Kyle had a massive gunshot wound to his, I can't remember which leg, ankle area, lower ankle area, I think. I was able to grab him and take him back to where I previously was, which is the baseball area, which they have a clubhouse, in which there was one of our coaches and a parent that was actually in the clubhouse. We have a first aid kit in the clubhouse, so I was able to go ahead and bandage that, do a compression bandage the best that I could with what we had, and then we handed him off, and immediately fire department was outside the door of the clubhouse room. Kyle gave me a tremendous description of what was going on, what the shooter was wearing, all that type of stuff of what actually was going on in the building, what building he was in, and I was able to relay that to our dispatch. I can't tell you whether people have asked me in the past whether I called 911 or I called our non-emergency number. To be honest with you, I think I called 344-1800, which is our non-emergency number. It's just a habit.
15-year-old Kyle Lamont, shot in the ankle, gave the first best description of the gunman.
All units be advised, a male in a hoodie, possible AR-15 or AK-47. Thank you.
42 en route.
52 en route. All units, minus 10-3 for the active shooter at Douglas High School.
Units go to the north side. Units go to the north side of the school.
3897 here. 39, white male, ROTC uniform.
White male, ROTC uniform.
Burgundy shirt.
Burgundy shirt.
Juliet 39, last seen in the 3-story building, north parking lot.
10-4 last seen, 3-story building in the north parking lot.
Delta 28, have them advised if they're still shooting.
Juliet 39, is he still shooting?
54. One with the Douglas's SRO, getting info.
10-4.
5297.
Units on the shooting. We've got 3 people shot in room 1216 in the freshman building. I'm not sure it's the building number for it, though.
Tier 2, call out SWAT for them.
10-4 tier 2.
Whiskey 21, have somebody block traffic northbound from Coral Springs Drive from the park.
Juliet 36.
We just spoke with a former student, Alexa Medic. She actually walked down the hall with the accused shooter, Nicholas Cruz, after she heard shots fired. She said, "Hey, Nicholas," this is what she told me on camera. We will have it for our 10 o'clock show. She said, "Hey, I just heard shots fired. I'm surprised it wasn't you." Just kidding, like that. He had this reaction, "What?" And then they parted ways. She said, "I heard more shots after that." She thinks there was a second shooter. That's the first we've heard of that, but she believes there was actually a second shooter.
47. 35, I'm at the north side of the city. I'm at building 13. That's 2 BSO guys that are moving forward. Kilo 23, any information on what type of weapon systems being used out there? Are you saying long gun? I see one looks like a custodian's down in front of the building. We're trying to locate. We don't know where he's at. T21, we need all entrances blocked off. Have someone block off on Holmberg Road at Coral Springs Drive and west just east of the middle school, and all the entrances surrounding the school.
Juliet 30, have Holmberg and Coral Springs Drive.
3597.
Delta 36, we'll get the popping unit up too, please.
10-4, we'll get the hoppy unit.
T21, Whalers Juliet 39. It's current 10-20. I am on the east part of the 3-story building in the parking lot with my long gun. Sierra 12.
Sierra 12.
Is it the south side or the north side? Sierra 12 break. I'll let you know where it is. That building, that 3-story building, is at the northeast corner. It's considered the freshman building. Northeast corner. 32, we're in front of it. 312. T21, the description one more time for everybody, please. Juliet 39, white male, dressed like ROTC, black pants, burgundy shirt. All right, Sierra 12, do you hear any gunshots? 54. All right, can we at least establish last location? The 3-story building north in the parking lot.
Dispatch on, it was the freshman building, the 3-story building. We heard gunshots at 1216, room 1216, 1216.
30, we got gunshot holes either coming into or out of that building on the west side, third floor.
97, where they want
After 5 patient, 1 patient with a GSW to the
30.
side.
Northeast building. There's bullet holes in the windows on the west side.
One patient with GSW to the side, and what's their location?
We got one victim coming out right here by the third floor
Yeah,
building.
we should be at the football field.
Do you know?
4 to 5 patients. 1 with GSW
Looks
to
like
the
one
side.
subject down on the ground. Make that 2. We're bringing it up to the west side of the building.
Okay.
Sure, 12. That building that we're discussing is detached from the rest of the school. Uniform 32.
I understand. Command to the next rescue in line. That's
32 break. We got 4 of us that are coming in from the north side. Sarge Kozlowski's on the other side. We can make entry on that left side.
We've got the patient loaded. We're getting him out of here. He's stating there are multiple people shot inside the building.
Sarge, on the second floor on the north side, building 12, there's a mark.
One
Can't see what it is, but it's on from the right to left.
We'll wait for your next one to come out of the intersection with another rescue force.
Kilo 24, we're 2-5 with the maintenance personnel. He's going to let us in on the southeast corner of the building. Route 23, VSO is advising they haven't seen it, already went in through the first floor. VSO should be inside the first floor.
This is 43.
We were just in class waiting, like doing notes and talking about a project, and the fire alarm goes for the second time in the same day, which is weird. So we all just go out to the field like we're supposed to, and then I hear like gunshots. Like you can tell, like it's definitely gunshots.
Yeah. Usually whenever a fire alarm goes off, it's usually just like culinary, an accident or nothing. But it was really odd to have 2 fire alarms in one day.
I've known him since 6th grade, and I just want to start off that I'm not rationalizing or justifying what he did. It was completely wrong and disgusting. But from what I've known him since 6th grade, he was probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He was incredibly nice and so sweet, and when I first talked to him in class, you know, he talked to me as any normal friend would, and eventually his father passed away, and ever since then he became really quiet, more reserved in class. Nothing unusual, like no unusual behavior, just reserved. Apparently he greeted as a friend, I should have noticed like a change. Very, very quiet in class. I believe everyone thought that he was just in his grievance. But after a while, he fell into a wrong crowd of like troublemaking people, and they really encouraged and motivated him to do troublemaking stuff, as in like, you heard the stories how he walked in front of a car, he started screaming at the person, he'd bother the teacher in any way, like for example, he'd throw a pencil at her, anything like that, they would encourage him to do it. And I think I saw that as a way he really wanted to fit back in with everyone. And eventually, I believe that he just became of what people would call him weird.
I need you to help me out and make sure that your classmate next to you that was shot, make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay? I need you to help me out and make sure that your classmate next to you that was shot, make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay? Make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay? Make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay? Make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay? Make sure that you keep an eye on him, okay?
At one point in the recordings, you can also hear law enforcement say, I'm speaking with the SRO for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas now. That SRO, Scott Peterson, we learned, chose not to go into that building because he thought the shooter was outside.
This mother was actually right outside the school when the gunfire began.
And then I texted him and my other son, found out that my other son got out, found him at Walmart, brought him home with a few friends, and then I had been circling waiting for Adam to call me.
What did you hear? What did you see?
I heard bang, 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 bang.
What did you hear? What did you see?
I heard bang, 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 bang.
Now is former FBI SWAT team member Kevin Canarum. Kevin, thanks for joining us at last minute notice here. For those who've just joined us, there has been this school shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida, which is about 50 miles due north of Miami. And we're hearing about possibility of victims there. But the local authorities there, Kevin, have said that the shooter is still at large. So this is a very dangerous situation, obviously, right now. Who is in charge right now? Do they bring the SWAT teams in? Does the FBI come in? How does this work right now? Go along. So is the priority to keep students sheltered in place or to try and get them out of there? I mean, what is usually the protocol here?
Call to the suspect at Douglas may still be on the 3rd floor of the building, just to advise.
Tamarack just pulled up. We're going to be using them in a minute, and I want a bunch of them lined up here. We expect more.
All right, let me know when I can bring them in, and we'll line them up.
Copy that. Call 72 to command. Go ahead. Just want to make sure you got that information of shots fired again inside the building. We did. Thank you for the update.
0120.
Standby, we're getting an update. Caller advised Emily Vasquez is advising the shooter in personalization class on 2nd floor. No description. The female stopped texting the caller. Hold traffic. Possible student fighting with gunman. All units hold traffic for 1033.
Is it Nicholas Cruz?
Possibly. Stand by.
025. What's the 1020 of the student fighting with the possible gunman? What's the 1020 and what's the unit that advised this?
Unit that advised the parent was with a child in a room fighting with the subject. Advised your call sign.
I'm with one of the parents right now outside here. He's saying that he's getting attention from his child and says, help me, they're fighting with him right now. He just doesn't know what room. He thinks something about a freshman room. His phone has frozen up, so he's unable to text her right now.